What happened to Gummigoo in the amazing digital circus? To solve that, first we have to look at what happens in the episode, and then using clues from the show, find out if he can ever get brought back to life. But let's take it back and follow the events of what happened to Gummigoo throughout the episode. Gummigoo gets introduced as the villain in the Candy Canyon Kingdom that has been stealing the Candy Princess's maple syrup. So the circus members hop in the whip and chase down the Gummy Bandit in their newly acquired truck. And on this crazy ride, they eventually collide, sending the cars into different directions, sending Pomni and Gummigoo's truck into the wall, glitching and colliding into the map. In this new location, we see a bunch of different things that we haven't seen before. At first, this place gives me some sort of backrooms type vibes, but as Gummigoo walks closer into this place, we can see still models of all of the NPCs that the humans meet in the Candy Canyon Kingdom. But what's interesting is that Gummigoo looks specifically intrigued when he is looking at the model of himself. And this definitely caused him a lot of confusion, kind of similarly to how looking in the mirror also caused Pomni a lot of confusion. And shortly after Gummigoo's breakdown, Pomni falls into the behind the scenes area, and Gummigoo immediately questions what is going on and where he is, because to him, the Candy Canyon Kingdom is his entire life, and now there are a bunch of things being thrown at him that question his thought to be humanity. It's just like if aliens were to come down to Earth and tell us that we were all part of a simulation or something. It would make us feel pretty pointless, wouldn't it?
Where are we? What's all this?
I don't know. We're somewhere under the map, I think.
Map? Why aren't you or any of your crew up here?
I'm not sure. Because we're not, NPCs?
NPCs? What are you on about?
And right here in this moment, something clicked in his brain. He isn't real. He is merely just a pawn in Kane's big game. And his sole purpose is to be an obstacle for when the humans enter the Candy Canyon Kingdom.
What are you people? What am I? Where's Mum?
You have a mom?
Shouldn't she be here with everyone else? I can't even remember her face. Did she ever have a face? Was anything ever real?
Okay, wait, don't think about that.
This part is really interesting. We know he's just one of Kane's NPCs, but he says something about having a mom and remembering her face, which tells us that Gummigoo isn't just any ordinary NPC. Because when you think of an NPC, you think of a character in a video game that's only purpose is to serve the player. But the fact is that Gummigoo has feelings and a family. It really shifts our perspectives about who the NPCs are in the amazing digital circus. But let's go over the rest of what happens to Gummigoo in the episode.
I want you to tell me exactly what I am.
Gummigoo asks Pomni all sorts of questions, and fully figures out the point of his existence in this digital world. But this backfires for Pomni and leaves Gummigoo in a deep state of depression.
You wanna try helping out at all? Or are you still... Hey, you okay?
No.
You wanna talk about it?
What is there to talk about?
I don't just wanna leave you here.
Why not? I don't matter in the slightest. I'm nothing. My life, my memories, my friends. It's all fake.
Pomni then explains to Gummigoo that she feels his pain and was in a similar situation, and then she offers to let Gummigoo join them as a new addition to the crew of the Amazing Digital Circus. Gummigoo questions her offer, but then accepts it and tries to find a way out of the behind-the-scenes area that they got trapped in. And to me, I think this is definitely one of those areas that Cain didn't want the circus members seeing, because in episode 1 he mentions that he hates people seeing his unfinished work.
Oh, Bubble, you always know how to make me say this exact sentence. Yes! An alert on my Wacky Watch at this hour? Oh no! Someone's venturing out into the void! They'll get totally spoiled!
But now, Gummigoo and Pomni team up and get all the way back up to the portal in the circus. But here, something soul-crushing happens.
See you again sometime, bye!
Welcome back, my little hard-shelled hamburgers!
So this is the circus, huh? I gotta get used to this.
Oh, looks like one of these guys made it through!
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Gummigoo is brutally killed in front of Pomni, and Cain has no remorse for his actions. But this brings up the question though, will Gummigoo return in later episodes, even though he is dead? And to that, I would say yes. The first thing that makes me think this is all of the backstory and secrets that we still don't know about Gummigoo. Like, we still haven't met his family, we don't know any of his past in the Candy Canyon Kingdom as a bandit. There are just so many unanswered questions about Gummigoo. The second reason I think he'll return is because he's already being sold as a marketable plushie on the Glitch Productions store, and there are no other characters besides the main circus members who are also sold on the website, which tells me that Gummigoo will have some sort of bigger significance in the later episodes. Gooseworks also seems to really like this character, stating multiple times that this is her favorite character in the show. So to me, it seems to be a no-brainer that he will come back. But can Cain actually bring a dead circus member back to life? And to that, I would argue that he can. As we can see right here in the backrooms area, there are still models of all of the NPCs in the Candy Canyon Kingdom. And I'm gonna take a guess here and say that these can be used very similarly to how models can be moved in 3D animation. So I think that bringing Gummigoo back to life would be as simple as Cain taking the model for Gummigoo and reattaching the script to his body to make him function again. Which, if this logic is true, that would mean that Cain is able to make clones of any NPC that he wants, which actually makes perfect sense because of all the wooden mannequins that we see in the show. Another thing making me think that Gummigoo is coming back is the fact that Ragatha said this.
Well, I'm gonna go drink water! It's been a while since I've done that.
Sheesh, I thought he'd never leave. I'm really sorry about that, Pomni. At least you tried. You know, he might be back in a future adventure. I know Cain sometimes likes to reuse NPCs.
Which makes me think that Cain could reuse Gummigoo as an NPC in one of the later adventures of the show. But now that we know he might come back, let's dive a little bit deeper into his backstory and see if there's anything about Gummigoo that we could be missing. After rewatching the episode about 5 billion times, I think the only thing that is going to tie this whole theory together actually has to do with Cain and the references to Christianity throughout this episode. Now, stay with me here. In the very beginning of the episode, the Queen remarks that they must be brave knights sent by God to help with the recent catastrophe. I think that there's some other things that we can actually infer from this. The first thing is the obvious biblical references that continue even into this episode. The second is that Cain somewhat sees himself as God. And to be fair, he is God to all of the members of the Amazing Digital Circus, as he has all of the power, can do anything, and operates exactly like a god. In his own way. But how does that tie into Gummigoo and his backstory? Well, think about it. Cain created all of Gummigoo's family members. Cain created his friends, Max and Chad. Cain created everything that is significant in Gummigoo's life. But one thing he couldn't have created, though, is his consciousness. Because we remember from the pilot episode that Cain said this.
What's your name?
My name? My name is, oh God! Why can't I remember my name?
Nobody can remember their name once they enter the digital circus. One of the few things I don't have control over are your minds.
Now, you may be thinking, well, yeah, he doesn't have control over the humans' minds, but he should have control over the NPCs' minds. And to that, I would say you're right. But again, Gummigoo doesn't act like a normal NPC, but instead, he has consciousness just like a human would. And this must be some sort of special thing that Cain can't control, because if he could, then obviously he wouldn't have him programmed to act the way he does. But with all of that being said, does this mean he could be hiding something from us? And to that, I would actually say no. Sure, we don't know about his backstory, or his family, or any of those things, matter of fact, but what we do know is that he is one of the coolest and most down-to-earth circus members that we have seen so far, and I hope that the creator brings him back for later episodes of the show. Or I mean, come on, the man at least deserves a funeral.